Good evening, everybody.
Good evening to all.
Okay, so the global alternative finance market reported on the evolving landscape and the market dynamics of the online alternative finance industry, which are now providing very strong sources of funding for charity, consumers, startups, SMEs, and industrial vertical that you can ever imagine. Even the very large corporate are also looking into this alternative finance. So in 2018, the global online alternative finance industry actually facilitated more than 300 billion worth of funding. So the presence of alternative lenders and digitally advanced non-bank is continuing to grow in the banking industry. So what happened is that it actually also set pressurizing the traditional financial institutions to digitize their own lending option. It is with great pleasure today to host this evening session on Sinwattana Equity Crowdfunding Talk Show. So my name is Hong Sin and the founder of Sinwattana Crowdfunding Platform. And with me is my marketing member, Kun Pichapon, who just greeted you earlier. So both Pichapon and myself will be bringing you on an investment exchange led by our series of star moderator. And this series is actually Mr. Heng, and together with our issuer, Wealthi's team. So we appreciate you taking this evening time to join us. And the exchange by our star moderator with Wealthi would approximately takes about 30 to 40 minutes. And we will open to questions. And of course, in between, if you have any question, you can either type it in or later on at the Q&A session, you can click the button and you can raise your hand to ask the question. So you're much encouraged to have this exchange to make sure that this session is very helpful and useful for you to decide whether if this is really an investment that you like to consider.
So Sinwattana has secured our operating license in the end of 2018 and cut our first online deal in 2019, the first equity online crowdfunding portal that now has a good list of deal flow to launch. But due to the current climate, issuers are treating carefully to determine a suitable time to launch as local investors are in search for best deal to invest. Currently, Wealthi is raising only 18.6 million baht, or around 580,000 USD, and already has a reservation of 150,000 USD. So Sinwattana welcome both retail and institutional investors from overseas who are keen to explore Thailand SME investment to join the platform. And for today, this session is our first English exchange on Equity Talk to international audiences.
Now let us give you a brief on what we do for Equity Talk. Equity Talk typically is a program designed to serve the investors' interests and providing clarity for funding on SME expansion plan. So common questions that usually flag up are, conversation between or usually with both investors and issuer in crowdfunding that floats along this line, like, what investors are looking for before they invest, the valuation of the company, how to demonstrate, like issuer business will make money for the investors, why a good business plan matters in a funding journey. And of course, beyond the typical exchange, Equity Talks actually cuts into very brutal finding of the businesses on crowdfunding platform. And particularly today's sharing is all about deep tech investment. So, we came up with this program called the Star Moderator. We actually invite, the Star Moderator because of their experience, their market senses, the strong verbal skill, and the ability, right, to remain unbiased and impartial and open. They are generally known in the industry and iconic in their own ways. So most of all, they can create a very safe environment that is trusting enough for the speaker to share. So our topic today, where we touch on a great technology, is only relevant when well applied and serve for an impactful purpose. So why should investors invest now as not dependent on the weather, like COVID or some other crisis? So Teck Heng, right now, if I may pass the screen all over to you.
Thank you, Team Sinwattana. Sawadee, good evening, and thank you for your Zoom participation to this Sinwattana Equity Talk. I just learned this new phrase. I hope I don't get it wrong. Pang Hua Kun Sabaidi means hope you are well during this COVID-19 period. There are so many things also important. What do we do first? One wise man told me, if whatever you're doing cause an impact, influence, and add value to the community, carry on doing. You can't be too far wrong. On this note, I agree to be the moderator for this evening's Sinwattana Equity session with Wealthi. Wealthi has made an impact in the local Bangkok community for the last 2.5 years. They are micro-financing entity based out of Bangkok and have expansion plans between Thailand and into the region. My name is Teck Heng. I'm based in Singapore. If this has been a live event, I'll most likely look into the audience and say, Singaporean, please raise up your hand to give me the moral support. Now that we are virtual, okay, I would be very happy if you could click a raise hand virtually in the chat group so that I know that you're going to be with me for the next 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah? Okay. Normally, I'll ask the panel who they are, what they do, why they are doing it. But for Wealthi, they have been around for 2.5 years. They have a track record to show. They have traction. So instead of starting with who, I'm going to start with what. What have they been doing? So with me today, this evening, are key members of the management team. The man himself, the CEO, co-founder, Kun Tavatchai. I call him C.A.R. Head of Compliance, Audit and Risk, Kun Prongsak. We call him Prongsak. And Marketing Lead, Kun Nakarin. We call him Neng. So I'm start with putting the man himself in the spot. C.A.R., tell me, what has Wealthi been doing, have been achieved in the last 2.5 years since you all were incorporated?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Team Sinwattana and Kun TH. So Wealthi is a fintech startup. We started Wealthi because we saw 3 unmet needs in Thailand. So there are more than 10 million people in an informal sector in Thailand. And these people do not have financial statement. They work in a cash economy, so they cannot lend the money from the banks. The second problem is that the other financial products out there in the market for these people are too complicated and hard for them to get started. And the third one is the lack of financial literacy. Financial literacy is not taught in the classroom. So we believe that there is a solution for that. So, and we create Wealthi, an AI-based mobile solution for the financial empowerment to fix these problems. Next slide, please. Wealthi start with the loan product in 2018 to 19, which is to lend a small amount of money from 500 baht to 3,500 baht. That's about $15 to about $100. So we collect money back every 15 days with interest, actually. So we start with 500 baht because we don't want to overtax our customer. For example, our customer might earn only about $10 per day. So giving them like 15 days, they will earn about $150, right? Our loan will be about only 10% to 70% of the income. So this will leave them with enough room to pay back for us and leave money for them to save as well. In 2020, we have introduced more two loan products by working with partners to provide a bigger loan. So the first one would be the medical loan, which is to pay for the high cost medicine bill. This will be about 50,000 baht or about $1,500. And the other one is to work with SMEs or factory to provide closed loop loan only to their employees so that they can get better productivities. So next slide, please. And during the past 2 years, so Wealthi was downloaded more than 200,000 times. And each day there will be around 500 to 1,000 people who download Wealthi. And we have also a strong fan base. We have more than 50,000 fans and followers on both Line Messenger and Facebook. On the business traction, so we right now disburse more than 70,000 times to our customer. And this will be more than 50 million baht. On the insurance, so we start selling the insurance to our user this year, and we already provide 400 policies to our users. And on the video and financial content, we got view of more than 20,000 times. Back to you, TH.
Okay, that's very impressive. 70,000 transactions, over 50 million Thai being dispersed. So this business model that you have built, which market specifically are you addressing? You can share with us.
Yes, okay. Next slide, please. So our loan has been used for various purposes, but the most common one will be to refinance, right? Because these people are in the informal sector. They got informal loan is costing like 200 or 300% interest rate per year, right? So this will be the first one that we see. The other one will be more like on their daily life, so grocery and medical. For medical, that's why we start working with our partner, one pharmaceutical company this year, to provide a medical loan. Right now we target the skin disease. So typically people who suffer from psoriasis, and it will be hard to treat with over-the-counter drug. So these people in the last stage need biologic drug, which will cost them around 100,000 baht per year, or about $3,000 per year. And that's why we start working with our partner to provide this medical innovation and financial solution for these people. Other purposes would be more like for sending to their children for education, or sending back home for their family, or to fulfill the dream, or to let them have like small business where they can follow the dream. Yeah. Next slide, please. So this will be a better example. So Kuniwat find us like almost 2 years already. Before that, he suffered from more than 8 credit card loan, right? And after he found Wealthi, we teach him how to manage his money and to reorganize his debt and to pay back one by one. And right now, we already help him to fix a lot of debt. So, and we teach him the daily habit, like to do daily accounting. So for the rest 2 years, he was sending our daily budget every day. Yeah, so that's one example. So back to you, TH.
Thank you. So, Kat, your business model is in the business of issuing money or loaning money. Yeah. And I know that some audience may not agree, but let's use this as a metaphor. Money is equal to power. And I quote Spider-Man, with power comes responsibility. Okay?
Yes.
And you have a regulatory obligation to adhere to. So tell me, how do we manage this whole process of approving and making sure that the loan goes to the right people?
Yes, sure. So for this one, I might Khun Phonsak, can you please help us with this?
Okay, thank you very much, Khun Kiek. Okay, I will show you how the standard process of the Wealthi platform working. It starts from the customer download the Wealthi and then fill out the 14 questions to the application. The data come to the AI model, can create a score, and then upload the digital document to the system. You can see this, all of this is the no need the face-to-face, no need real document. This is the this is the real mobile lending digital platform too. And when the customer waiting for the answer every question from our credit, then we can disbursement not more than 1 day. Next slide, please. The AI model, this is the example of how the AI model working. You can see the AI model will calculate to be the 5 score. This score A, B, C, D, F. The ability to pay and the readiness to pay is the score calculated from the model. And you can see the model, the score A is have a property of default is lower than %. That's why we can trust this model. Next slide, please. The traditional finance use the economy data, such as the debt service ratio, salary income to calculate. Yes, Wealthi use that too. But Wealthi use the GPS, the Facebook, the data media to calculate score A for approve. This is the alternative data. After we approve, then we can learn the loan history call. We can learn the financial improvement data from the customer, and then we can calculate the score B after that to have a second time, third time to loan for that customer. Thank you very much, TS.
Thank you, Punsak. Okay, we have understand what Wealthi has been doing. Now let's look at the people who is behind this whole business model. So,
to your question earlier, let me add on to your question earlier. So, next slide. I think that only giving them money doesn't solve the problem, right? Like you said, money comes with a lot of responsibility, right? So that's why we try to add more product into our application. We start with insurance, and also by going to the root cause, which is to provide financial literacy for the people. So for insurance, we work with Tipaya Prakanpai, the second largest insurer in Thailand, to provide insurance such as personal accident, vehicle act, and also the most recent one is the COVID. And you have to understand that these people, they are in the informal sector. They don't have financial services before. So a lot of them do not get insurance as well. So we try to help them get this first. Next slide, please. To fix the root cause, so that's why we go to financial literacy as well. And right now we have the blog posts and also video content to teach people. We teach thousands of people on how to manage their daily budget, manage their financial. And we also try to make it fun to add EXP and level up system so that they have incentive to keep improving themselves as well. So I should tell you, like our philosophy to do this business is profit for 3 parts. First one, profit for the people. Second one, profit for the planet. And the third one would be profit for the company. TH, sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry, I didn't realize that there was one more side to go. Well, for a short 2.5 years company, you already built yourself a philosophy. I think that's impressive. Well, we heard about what you've done. I think we need to know who are the people who are behind it. So, Kun Teck, introduce your team, please.
Gladly. Next slide, please. So, but first and foremost, I would like to introduce my team first. So, I would like to introduce our head of C.A.R, Kun Pansak. Please introduce yourself to us, please.
Okay. Thank you, Kun Teck. Hello and good evening, everybody. My name is Mr. Pansak. I take charge in the compliance, audit, and risk management for Wealthi. I had to be the senior operation manager, general manager, and the head of strategy in a company, a subsidiary of a bank and a listed company in Thailand. I am a writer and a translator too. I had wrote the book, the Thai management, Thai style management book, and the cryptocurrency 101. And I had translated digital economy and the blockchain revolution to Thai language. I am the speaker in many forums for the management, digital economy, and the blockchain and statistics. I had experience in the retail finance is more than 20 years about the motor and motorcycle finance. That means I know very well about what the business want, what the regulator want, and what the technology can do. Wealthi want the new nano finance license in the future and go to the stock exchange of Thailand. I'm sure I can support Wealthi to get that. Thank you very much.
Yes. Khun Phonsak experience in digital banking and also retail banking helping us a lot to grow our business. So next one, I would like to introduce our marketing head. Can you please introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Kiet. Good evening, Sawadee Krap. My name is Nakarin. I'm the marketing lead of Wealthi. Actually, before I joined Wealthi, I have about 10 years of working experience in the consumer product and the distribution network industry. I did work for Procter & Gamble, for TV Direct Public Company Limited, and I spent almost 7 years working for SCG or Siam Cement Group Public Company Limited in marketing and sales department for the domestic building material distribution channel. This is where I met Tavatchai I met Kiet for the first time. He is my customer and we have become friends since then, probably because we are at the same age and both of us play music. Tavatchai play guitar and I play drum. And both of us always have the band jamming together every week. And 10 years has passed. Both of us become very good friends. And this is the reason why Kiet asked me to join Wealthi. About my responsibility at Wealthi, everything is evolving on 4 objectives. The first one is to get as many good customers as possible. The second, to hear the customer and get their feedback to improve our offering. 3, to create enrichment program to bring about the customer loyalty. And to find opportunity in the market or in the segment that Wealthi still haven't any presence in. Thank you. Back to you, Kiet.
Yes, thank you. Helping us a lot for the market expansion of Wealthi as well. So right now, I would like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Kiet. I am from Bangkok, Thailand. And I grew up fascinated by the inventions that can help improve life, both by using hardware and software. So that's why I started my career as an engineer. And I went to the United States from 2011 to 16 for my MBA degree at Babson College and for work. The idea of using software and hardware to improve life have never gone away in my mind, but I cannot decide which one should I focus. So there at the United States, during the daytime, I would go to work as a financial software developer, where I work closely with software vendors such as IBM and Salesforce. And afterward, I would go to the makerspace to learn how to build hardware tools. In 2014, I founded my first startup. And at that time, you might be able to guess, so I chose hardware. So my first startup is in robotics area with 2 of my engineers friends. And even though we didn't make it at that time, it was give us with many lessons from the ground up. And one of the main reasons is that no matter how good the invention is, if we cannot distribute fast enough, the startup will fail. And the other one is that the startup should really fix any big problem in anyone's life. And with that, I decided to move on to found a software startup. And my 2 engineer co-founders still believe in me. That's why we joined forces and together we founded our second startup, Wealthi. The other 2 who cannot join us today, first one, Khun Namchai, is our CFO. He worked in international bank for more than 20 years. And Khun Yanapat is a computer business background and our technology lead. Next one, please. So please let me briefly share to you about our milestone as well. So to briefly summarize, we founded the company in 2016, and it never go up into full operation until we received the license in November 2017. And Wealthi beta version was launched in December 2017. In 2018, it is the year where we applied to many competitions and we won several awards. The most prominent one will be the National Software Contest and Krung Thai Young Enterprise Award. So in total, we won around 2.6 million baht, and we put that back into development until Wealthi got a full version in March 2019. And after we have the product ready, we focus more on the product expansion and market expansion. And we do that by partner with our partnership. So in 2019, partner with Jasmine City Group, who operate hotel chains, and also they own manufacturing, garment manufacturing in Rayong. And we partner with them to offer Wealthi in Rayong. For Tipaya Prakanpai, we just partnered with them in 2020 to plug in with their API to offer the insurance on our Wealthi. And we also partner with the medical company this year to offer medical loan, like I already mentioned. So back to you, TH.
Thank you, Kat. I also understand that you have a co-founder that sits on your board, and who wrote the code. Could you share with the audience how two of you have collaborated and get this whole application developed?
Definitely. Yeah, I'd like to talk about him as well. He is my primary school friend, so we know each other for probably 20 more years. So and it strikes us very fast that we both want to be someone who build software or hardware. So we get into both of us get into engineering, for mobile development, there are actually two parts. The first part will be mobile development, especially on Android or iOS operating system. And the other one will be the technology behind, such as AI and machine learning algorithm. So my co-founder is the one who do the mobile development, and I'm focusing on machine learning and AI. Thank you. Back to you, TH.
Okay. So I would like to ask, and maybe the audience, I think they would also like to know, I mean, with this business that you have developed, how big is the market potential, and what is the opportunity out there for you?
Definitely, yeah. So next slide, please. So firstly, Wealthi is in the digital lending space. We rarely see millennials go to the bank to ask for the loan. These days, right? So this is a growing trend. So that would be the first one. The second one is that there are a lot of unbanked, both in Thailand and also in the region. So in the Southeast Asia, there are more than 150 million people who are still unbanked. So Wealthi is trying to help these people as well. And the third one will be Wealthi AI is already proven in Bangkok. So right now we try to expand to other cities. We expect a CAGR of more than 80% for the next 5 years. And the last one will be the most important one. Wealthi is already profitable, which is ready to fire and start up this day, right? Next one, please. Yep. So let me tell you more about the national market landscape. So Thailand has a huge unbanked masses. This is serviced by the alternative finance. Major portion is informal lender with about 86 billion baht. And that is an alarming number for us. So the government tried to fix it by issuing a license on nano and pico finance. But still, there's still market size of nano and pico is still only 31 billion. Wealthi is operating in this area right now. So there are big market for us in Thailand. Next one, please. So as well as in the Southeast Asia, like we see the unbanked masses in Southeast Asia alone is more than 150 million people. Yeah. So back to you, TH.
Couldn't check. Your revenue model. Sorry, my apology. This market opportunity is so lucrative. I'm sure there are other players in the market. Can you share with us who are the players in the market and what are your competitive advantage?
Definitely. So next slide, please. So Like I already mentioned, so our AI, we never outsource those core technology. So so that's why we can have a dynamic enough model. So our financial data that we retrieve from the customer during the last 2 years is also help strengthen our AI. So like Khun Ponsak already mentioned about the A score and B score, when we combining these two, this become our core strength. And the third one is that we try to maintain an open API infrastructure. That means we can plug in with the other startup or other big companies such as Tippaya Prakanpai to offer the product on our system fast. And the last one, we do content product, and this may not generate a lot of income for us, but it helps to maintain the customer with us because customer care that we want to help fix the problem for them, right? So they tend to stick with us, and we have a retention rate of more than 85%. Yeah. Next one, please. So to talk more about the competitive positioning, we try to use the Gartner quadrant. Yeah, so, and we believe that we can do well, both in the ability to execute and for the completeness of vision. Yeah, so back to you, T.H.
Thank you. So if you could share with the audience your revenue model, how without the framework of how you derive your revenue, you could get?
Yes. Next one, please. So our revenue from mainly from interest rate, right? 75%, and 25% will be for the other product. So insurance commission is one thing, and also we sell financial content on our platform as well. So we calculate the customer lifetime value on a very conservative side. We use only the money that get from interest rate of 500 baht loan, and this make the lifetime value of each customer of 212 baht. But the cost to getting one customer for us right now is about 46 baht. That leave the LTV to COCA of 4.6 times, right? And if we increase the loan to our customer, this LTV can go up quite significantly. Yep, this is our revenue model, TH.
Okay. I understand that you are on the Sinwattana crowdfunding platform. You're going to raise funding for your company.
Yep.
Could you share what plans you have once you have raised this money?
Yeah, definitely. So next one, please. So let me tell you about the project on hand of us first before going to the crowdfunding. So right now, we have the project this year to grow our loan under management from 6 million baht to 26 million baht. And this will come from two ways. The first one in green, you see here. So we work with partner for our medical loan and also for Rayong expansion and also the closed loop loan, right? This one will be, the money will come from joint venture with our partner. And the one in the blue area, this one will be for Wealthi to invest and for Wealthi to expand in Bangkok, both by getting new customer and by increase the loan for the current customer. So this one comes from institutional. Yeah, next one, please. So I would like Khun Heng to tell you more about our plan when we raise less fund with Sinwattana.
Yes, Kiet. Actually, for this round, we will raise about 18.6 million baht. And we will allocate 45% for hiring staff, 31% for sales and marketing for market expansion, and 22% for general administration, and 2% for direct costs, respectively. And for about our roadmap, in the past 2 years, we operating in Bangkok under loan under management of 5 million baht with 8 staff in total. But at the end of last year, we filed the license to operate in Rayong, which will take about 6 months. So that means about May to June this month, we will be able to reach out to Rayong City. And about our operating this year, we have Kun Ponsak joining in to be in charge of C.A.R department. And after we can complete fundraising this time, we will set up the automated call center system in order to improve our customer service. And for loan under management for this year, we need about 26 million baht, and we will add 3 more staff this year. In the year 2021, we will reach out to 5 more cities in vicinity area and Eastern Economic Corridors. And about our operation, early next year, we will add iOS service to all iPhone users. And about 1 year from now, or by the 3rd quarter of the next year, we will file the countrywide nano finance license. And hopefully, if everything is according to plan, about early of 2022, we will be able to serve all customers in Thailand. About 2021, our loan under management is about 56 million baht, and we will have 23 staff in total. Thank you. Back to you, TH.
Thank you. So we have heard about what Wealthi has done. 70,000 transactions, more than 50 million Thai baht being dispersed. You have done major awards, win major awards. We have met your team, introduce your key members to the audience, and talk about the market potential and the competitive landscape. Yeah, I'm sure we have reached a point in time in this discussion whereby we're going to ask, what is Wealthi asking? What are you asking the investors who are tuning in to do? Okay.
Definitely, yeah. Next slide, please. So, well, like Kun Heng already mentioned, we try to raise 18.6 million baht, or about 600,000 US dollar, right? This will be used for our operating expense during the 2020 to 2021. Right now, this is our progress of fundraising. So it seems to be here only 3%, but actually we are on the discussion, and some of the institutional investors already make a reservation, which will come in early May of about 3 to 6 million baht. Yeah, so I think, and from our research on the crowdfunding in Thailand. So crowdfunding in Thailand, typically people will put in the money in the last 2 or 3 weeks before the deadline. So we do fundraise until 23rd of May. So I think right now is the right timing for investor to get on board and invest in Wealthi. I can talk more about the return in the next slide, but yeah. So next slide, please. Yeah, our offer right now is about 100 baht each. Yeah, and the retail investor can invest as little as 5,000 baht to 100,000 baht. This will be only about 150 US dollar to $3,000. So that I think it is a good price and our return. So next slide, please, Kun Heng. Our return. So we commit to pay the dividend of about 8.5% on the invested money for 5 years. So, and we will start pay by on the end of 2022, which means that the dividend of 2020 and 21 will be accumulated and pay on the 2022. Yep. Back to you, TH.
Impressive. How is this 8.5% return compared to other instruments that's available in the Thai market?
Okay, I also have a picture here for you. So this is to compare to other instruments in Thailand. Our Wealthi dividend is higher than other instruments, except only Thai equity stock, because that is including capital gain, right? So I believe including our capital gain from the investment can be more than Thailand equity stock in TH.
Thank you. And thank you to Team Wealthi. We have reached the
welcome.
agenda proper whereby we are going for Q&A session now. So, ladies and gentlemen, those who are on the Zoom session, you can either raise your hand and we unmute you and you can ask a question. I can type into the chat and we'll try to address your questions. I think we have, I see a couple of questions that's being posted on the chat from Mr. Hari. He says, what is the cost of funds? So
definitely. So definitely. Yeah, so our cost of fund right now, averagely about 8%.
And my understanding is that currently you are self-funding, yeah? So whatever money award that you have won, you plow back into the operation.
Yes, we do that one thing too. And the other thing is to, we borrow from our angel investor as well, with the limited DE ratio, right? With a very conservative DE ratio. Our DE ratio right now is about 0.8. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why our cost of capital for the money we borrow is about 8%. Yeah.
Okay, very good. And again, from Mr. Hari, he says, what is the delinquent percentage? I guess the default that you have shared during our discussion. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So our default rate for this newest version of AI is about 15%. And I think we're reducing because from our experience when we first start, we do the blind lending first. We do not have the model. And at that point, the default is about 50%. After we introduce the AI and the first version, the default is coming down. And the second version, the default is coming down. Right now, we already launched the 5th version of the AI. So every time we launch the new version, the default rates keep coming down. So right now, it should be less than 15%.
And Kiet, my understanding is that PICO financing can go all the way up to 3,500 baht lending. But today, you are very conservative and issuing only 500 baht to start with, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And there's a reason for it. Would you like to share why are you starting at 500?
Definitely, we think first when we start, we try to see what the problem in the society, and I think one of the problem is that the people in the system. So let me tell you this: we try not to overtax our user. Try to be a good citizen as well. So if we let them borrow too much, they might overspend and not having money to pay us back. So that's why we try to fix for the first few years, we very conservative. Let them borrow very little, so only 500 baht every 15 years, right? And when they prove that they have discipline enough, we can slowly increase the loan amount so that it's not overspent, it's not be too much burden for the users.
Okay. Another question.
Sorry, there are some questions coming in as well from Piwa Sakha. He's asking about, is the dividend of 8.5% fixed or minimum? And also he have another question which talks about who will be your target customers?
Sure. So for the first question, 8.5 is fixed now. Yeah, because this one is before we can exit for, so later on we plan to exit in the IPO market, right? So the dividend at that point will not be fixed, but right now it's fixed for 5 years. And the second question, our customer right now, when we start with blue collar, but right now it's more only blue and white collar, and Kun Heng might be able to expand more on the details. Will you be able to share the customer?
And you may want to share,
Yes.
show slide number 15, yeah?
Yes.
Slide number 15, to explain the segment you are serving.
Oh, I think it's up.
I think it is.
Yeah, it'll be that.
Yep.
Yes. Actually, our customer is everyone who cannot get the proper access to the loan from the bank. But if we specify the objective that our current customer are using our loan for, it is categorized into 6 main purpose, like to refinance for the daily expense, for the medication, for the tuition for their children, and remittance to the hometown, and also for the fund to go on living, to do something else, to earn the money for the occupational fund. But to be more specific, our customer, like when we group it into demographic, about 50,000 of them that we have information, they are aged below 40 years, and most of them earn just less than $700 US a month. This is the character of our target. But actually, we can serve anyone, whether they are blue collar or white collar. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to add, I think more importantly is how the fund are being utilized. Yeah, I think all these 6 categories are the top categories that are being identified in the last 2.5 years.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Okay, Kat, there's another question says, what's the interest rate you charge to your borrowers?
Okay, so with the current license that we have, we can charge up to 36% per year. And right now we still stick with 36% per year because we see that the customer is coming from informal loan, which is a lot more than this. Like maybe they get 200% or 300% interest rate per year, right? But for our current borrower who have a good history of paying back, we can also introduce a program to reduce the interest rate for them.
I understand the interest rate is very comparable to the current bank interest rate, right?
Yes. So this called the Pico Finance license, and Pico and Nano Finance license. The government allowed to charge 36% because the government see that more risky than the bank, right? So even though some banks have Nano and Pico Finance license, they might not execute it. They might execute other personal loan, which can charge up to 28% per year.
Okay, so you're comparable to the bank, but without the hassle of all the approval process and all the checks and balance and things like that, yeah?
Definitely, yeah. And we also have some program that we work with partners. So for medical loan, we didn't charge interest to the patient. So pharmaceutical or the clinic will be the one who pay for the interest. That's why we work with partners so that a patient can get the medicine at the real cost. Yeah, and the interest will be subsidized.
Okay.
Allow me to just add on to all the audience on Zoom is that earlier Kat mentioned about retail investors with a limitation of like US $150 is the minimum investment, and it can go up to something like US 3,000 to invest in Wealthi. Should you be a accredited or high net worth, there is no limit to the investment. And also on the crowdfunding platform, we're able to receive foreign investment into Thai SMEs. So there is, there is a procedures where you can register on the platform and make the reservation on the platform, do the transfer on the platform, and then, when the deal is closed, you will then receive your share certificates from Wealthi to you. And most important of all is that, in the process of doing all this, the issuer, in this case Wealthi, will actually have to stay on the crowdfunding portal to provide quarterly report to the investors that invested in them. So it also gives you a very good opportunity to know how Wealthi is progressing. And earlier mentioned by Kiet, he talks about IPO, and Piwasak talks about, the conversation of whether if the dividend rates is fixed or not. In the process of heading towards IPO, probably Kiet Ka, so maybe you can explain like when you think this IPO will be, what is like, are you like hitting the second board, or what exactly are you aiming? Can you be more like, can you share something more specific?
Definitely, and thank you for adding this. So yeah, first and foremost, let me add like what you said. We provide quarterly basis, quarterly report, and this is 100% approved by the SEC of Thailand, right? And our plan is to exit on 2024 when we have enough, when we our P&L is good enough to for that, right? And also during this time, it will give us more time for us to do a compliance, which Bank of Thailand might have, and also the Stock Exchange of Thailand we have as well. Yeah, so this gives us some room for that. And also the benefit of getting to IPO is that after we can get into IPO, we'll be able to have a company rating. And if we are lucky enough, we can aim for the investment grade rating, which will give us with a lower cost of capital. That's why that is our strategy to go into the IPO. And during this time, we just need to hit our target that we set every year. Yeah, like this year, like Kun Heng already mentioned, we aim for 26 million loan under management. With our current project on hand, we should be able to do it. Next year, we aim for the loan under management of 56 million. We should be able to do it. Yeah, so on and so on. Yep.
Good. Yeah, there is one more question from the audience. So borrowers, when they borrow money from Wealthi to the system, do they need to have any collateral?
Oh yeah. So right now, this is called unsecured loan, right? Yeah. But we're having a partner who want us to help them do the secure loan or put collateral in as well. So right now we got contact by different partners, and we are on the discussion process with them. Yeah, so we're still open on that. We just need to see if it's better for our customer or not. Yeah.
And anyway, in this period of PICO financing, I mean, we are looking at 500 to 3,005, right? I mean, the amount is relatively small still.
Definitely, yeah. So yes, so in that sense, collateral might not work, but actually, our PICO finance license, we can lend up to 50,000 baht, which is about $1,500, right?
Okay.
But that will be maybe more or overburdened for the customer. So we try not to do that fast. We try to see if they're disciplined enough, and if they have a plan such as high medical bill, things like that. So that's why they may need a bigger loan, right? Yeah. So we'll be more careful and stringent on that as well.
Okay. I guess this person must be based in Bangkok. Is the dividends taxable in Bangkok?
Yes. Yeah. The same with the dividend in the IPO. Yeah.
Okay, and then there's another one from Mr. Y WY, expansion plan in Asia?
Oh, definitely. So for that, our expansion will be on both market expansion and product expansion, right? So right now, like I already mentioned, we try to have an open API infrastructure so that we can plug and play with startup or other local partner who can get Wealthi into the country. So that's how we can expand geographically. And for the product as well, we do lending and insurance well. Maybe other players who do other things well, they can just plug and play if they want to have financial services. Yeah, so it works like that.
Okay, I think we have one room for one more question.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, and this is this might be the last question, but it's a bit long. First, your funds that you have loaned, are they fully self-funded now? Are they? Yes, right?
Right now, right?
Yeah.
No. So we maintain a DE ratio of 0.8. So some of them from borrowing from our angel investor as well. Yeah. Our registered capital right now is 5 million. So which means our DE is 0.8. We borrow about 4 million.
Okay. And the fund is raised for operation, and how are you going to source for more loanable funds?
Yeah, that is a very good question. Good last question. I just said. So if Kun Heng, can you go back to slide number? Go back a little bit to. Yep, 21. So you see our source of funding is not only from us, right? For the one that we partner, that source of funding will come from our partner. So that means we will need loanable fund, lower loanable fund, right? But for the one for Bangkok, that's our investment. So that's one we seek from institutional investor and also our angel investor. And right now, we just need to maintain a good DE ratio until we can get to IPO and issue our bond, right? Or our warrant or debenture. But before that, we need to be to use this type of method, like to borrow first. But after we can exit, that's when we can issue our debentures. So that we be on the debt instrument.
Maybe yes, allow me to support you for this conversation. Is that
Sure.
yeah, typically how the crowdfunding market works is that, or what we've been seeing in this whole alternative lending market is that these alternative market are typically far unreachable for the typical traditional financial institutions, where they do not have the structure and the resources, if I may say, to actually conduct this kind of loans. And so what they have been doing is that they've been looking at those performing companies that are providing this kind of alternative loan and work hand in hand to kind of like back the companies like yours. So I think what is very important is that Wealthi, in this round of fundraising, when proven successful on the crowdfunding platform, then ramp up the whole entire operation, you would definitely draw the traction because there are already some of the banks looking at how they can actually put their hands into this alternative finance. So it's a very, very interesting conversation where we see that, in this whole industry is that, we see a very interesting shift and change, in the market. And for Thailand, SMEs in this space, it is growing And it's just like for the crowdfunding space, the lending conversation is not open, unlike in Singapore, in Malaysia, and Philippines, and even like what's the other country? Indonesia. All right, the lending market, the peer-to-peer lending market is crazy. And in China, it's worse. Worse in a sense of like every now and then you see new platform coming up, new system coming up. This whole digitally advanced platform are providing different kinds of loans. Whereas in the Thai market, it's warming up. And what Wealthi is doing is they are not just giving you the money or loaning the money. They basically also factor in the financial literacy and several other products that add value to the borrowers. So this is the Wealthi model is actually very interesting, other than being deep tech. And also, when you mentioned about 36%,
yes,
assuming if the borrower borrowed the money and only wanted a timeline of 6 months, do they pay 36%?
So that's the 36% is the average annual rate. Yeah. So if they borrow for 6 months, it's only 18%.
Okay. So you do kind of like have the different model to cater for different borrowers, right?
Yes. So we try to issue new loan product. We use customer. We try to see if any loan product will help customer more. So a customer-centric approach.
Okay.
Thank you so much for adding that. That's very beautiful.
Yeah. Teck, do you have any other things else for Wealthi?
So, Neng, could you put back the last holding slide? So this is the call to action slide, and with this, I pass to Team Sinwattana to provide some framework in terms of what happened after this. Yeah.
Okay, so I think thank you all for the question. Very interesting and very interactive. I have my business team also on this call, Rick and Minnie. So what they will be doing is that they'll be providing you a follow-up email with also some information on Wealthi. And basically, if you're interested to actually invest in Wealthi, or you would like to have some chat with the founder, Minnie and Rick can always arrange that for you. And do expect our business team to get in close touch with you. So as like any other tech investment, basically what we're seeing is that, the investors are learning to, get into this whole deep tech investment. For Wealthi case, it is rather interesting and unique that, at this point, they are already profitable and they just need to have more funds to actually expand their business. So before, like typical deep tech, you probably needs to take a little bit longer time to see that return. And in the area of putting through crowdfunding and comparing to other traditional finance options is that, you can see that, there is a lot of interaction that we cater and provide so that you have a very close relationship with the founder that you're going to be investing on. And with Wealthi, they have been in operation and their return is clearly indicating on the, clearly indicated on the investment memo. So should you like to have the investment memo, there is Rick and Minnie to also tap on. So for interested investors, you are very encouraged to place in your reservation sooner, because the Wealthi deal will be closing in third week of May. I think it's May 23rd, 12 noon or 12 midnight. I think so. Okay, so Please do expect our business team, Rick and Minnie, to be in touch with you. And we really like to thank every one of you for taking this one half hours with us. And truly looking forward to share the upcoming deals in the next Equity Talk scheduled in May. Thank you and great. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
ขอบคุณมากค่ะ
Good night.